And we're back. There's 4 geos here. Seeing 2 or 3 over here. No, it's like 2, but one's made of a bunch of different goodies. Be nice to have a plot of land like this. He has his own airplane. That's insane. Steve, that's your future. There's a bunch of geoparks inside that shed. Hello, hello. That's very amazing. He's got his own plane. Sounds like he might be on the phone or something, so I'm gonna chill. Hey, little puppy. Hey, I'm here to get a geo part.
Yes, sir. I'll be with you just a minute.
All right, cool.
Okay, yeah, you painted the stencil. Yep. So that's all covered right there. Got everything fixed and painted and all that kind of stuff. Everything else is fine. Oh, you want to puppy? Yeah, I didn't do it. I got Steve ready to paint it because I'm not a painter. I'm just like you. You know, I paint a while and it looks pretty good. I said, shit, that's good enough. Steve Redding looked at me and said, no, he said, a little face here and a little face here. Oh, yeah, he'll fix all that shit. Yeah, the guys that do it, I understand. Did you carry it to him or did he come to your hands? I carried it to him. Yeah, I had thought about doing that. And well, I mean, hell, when I'm done flying the airplane and somebody else buys it, if they want to paint it, they can paint it. Okay, all right. I just want to fly. I don't want to. Well, you've been doing that. Well, I have, but I hate to keep flying it and not have the aluminum protected. I want to get something on the aluminum. The fiberglass, it'll stand. It'll be fine, but I thought I'd practice on the small pieces first. And I thought I'd put these fiberglass back on and fly it for another 4 or 5 months, maybe paint it this fall. For the rest of it. Because I hate having it down. It's been down for 3 months. Just pushing around with this stuff. Yeah. I don't know. Of course, I've been working on this extension off and on. I'm going off and on. It's been 5 years. Well, you know? But that's been a total restore from the ground up. Takes a long time. Well, I mean, I sold my Cessna, so I got nothing to fly cross country except the RV-12. And I want to get back to going cross country, so I'm just anxious to. Well, it'll be a different, you already know that, it'll be a different flight with the RV-12 than it was the Cessna, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. Probably won't cost as much to fly. No, it will not. It's actually a little faster, and it burns 4 gallons an hour, 4.5 versus 6.5 to 7. Sure, and I'm a little faster. but I've got 2 seats rather than 4. Yeah. But I almost never use 4 seats. I know. That Stinson I got, this guy is a 4-seat capacity, but the back seat, they'll not be anybody. I just pile luggage in. Just pile luggage. Or take it out and put a bicycle in. Go to Oklahoma, ride a bicycle around. Is there an outside place I can take a piss? Just walk around the corner. All right. That'd be fine. Hey, good to see you again. Okay, Roger. Talk to you later. Take care now. All righty. Yes, sir.
All right. My name's Damien.
Damien?
Yes, sir.
I'm Tom Damien.
All right, Tom. Good to meet you. That's right.
Come on in here. Dead Brent. Getting a little warm now in all these clothes. I'm going to take some of this stuff off.
Come on in here, puppy. Come on in.
Come right over here, I'll show you. I believe you'll find that's exactly the same thing you've got.
Yeah, looks exactly the same.
Yep. Even the later years will work, because
yeah, I was kind of asking some people on the internet if it would, but nobody had a good answer.
no,
Can you get like the pigtail and wire it in?
actually the connector's the same.
Oh, really?
Yep. See,
You're talking the like OBD2 versions?
See, here's a little later version. See, it's smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the part numbers, and everything's the same except there's a EOO rather than a BOO. But look at the plug. See, I mean, it's
what is it, like a 97 or something?
Yeah, these are for like 95 and later.
Yeah, because these, when you get these brand new, they're pretty reasonable with these. If you go on like Rock Auto or something, they want like $200.
Yeah. Yep. But
it'll just work.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know too.
I mean, it's.
I thought it might too. I really did think, because I know map sensors are not all too different.
No, I mean, it goes to the intake manifold, and the 3-cylinder used from 89 through 94 used this style, and then starting in 95, I think it was, the 3-cylinder used that little smaller style up until they quit making them in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's the same thing. I mean, all it does is take a absolute pressure and change it to some millivolts.
That's what I figured as well.
I mean, it's no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, with the mass airflow sensors, it gets a little tricky, but with the maps, it's pretty simple.
All the Metros use map sensors rather than mass airflow. Now the Suzuki Swift GT.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't have one in here, but the GTs use mass airflow sensors.
Yeah.
They didn't have the map sensors, but that's just one of those things.
Yeah. Well, this is what I need. Car, when if it's real cold, it seems like it has good pep, but then it'll warm up, and then if you push on it like just a little bit, it'll go. But if you go to push on it a little extra, it seems like it just kind of stops and doesn't want to keep going anymore. And the only code I'm getting is 31.
Now, have you made sure that the vacuum line between the intake manifold and the bottom of here is connected, and it's open?
Yeah, because I can get vacuum on that, real good, strong vacuum.
At the sensor?
At the sensor. I popped it off, and I was like, okay, I'm getting good vacuum.
Okay.
And then, I kind of blew through it, and then I did what the book told me, and they're like, take the plug off, jump, and then if it turns to code 32, then that means it's bad. But if it doesn't, then that means, you might have a broken wire or something. So I'm feeling like this is probably going to be fixing it.
Well, if it doesn't, then you'll need to go back to the engine control module and go to the pins that connect to this and make sure that those 3 pins connect to that properly, that there's not something else open.
Exactly.
I've never seen an engine control module go bad, so I don't think you're going to have to worry about that.
It usually doesn't. Usually that's pretty rare.
Yep, those are extremely rugged, as is the rest of the system. I mean, I've only seen one of these. I've been messing with these since the late 90s, so it's been about 20 years. I've seen only one of these go bad.
Yeah.
And all of them, I've seen plenty that either had the line stopped or the hose had slipped off the exhaust manifold. it had slipped off, and the car wasn't running right. It would crank and idle, but then you'd go to accelerate, and it's just like you described.
It's like it just wouldn't go.
It's just not getting enough fuel.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not getting enough fuel. It's the
Is it run? And the thing is, I unplugged it and just drove it around with it unplugged and drove the exact same.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
All right.
So I'm thinking that was good enough, but then the factory service manual told me to go a step further to confirm it. So I said, hey. But then I went to AutoZone and they're like, one, we don't have it. Nobody has it, and it's $200. I'm thinking, well, I guess it just don't go bad very often. Because if they did, they'd probably keep them in stock.
Well, you can find those on eBay. I mean, that's how I end up pricing my stuff.
Just checking on eBay.
I check eBay and I check car-part.com for things like transmissions, engines, bits and pieces that you can get from a salvage yard.
Yeah.
More than likely, that something like that isn't listed in the salvage yard. But I usually take car-part.com, a good average of their prices for used. And then if I can't find that, I'll just go to eBay and do about the same thing.
Yeah.
And these used are about $25 shipped, or maybe a little bit more for shipping used ones. Yeah. And so I figure 15 is cool. It might make it close to worth your time to drive. So.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And just because I'm excited to get it going. So getting it down now instead of waiting a week for something to get shipped in.
Oh.
That's worth something to me. Now, I got a couple other things while I'm here, because I'm seeing that you got probably everything that I would ever need, ever in a million years. One of my body plugs, when I got the car, I pulled the carpet up, and I think the heater core was leaking, so someone had a good idea. Well, if I pull the body plug out of the floor pan,
just let it run out.
Just let it run out. So now I don't have that body plug, but I have one to reference it. And also my AC was not working, so I figured I'd save the dead weight, yank it out, but now I got 2 holes in my firewall. So I don't know if you have like maybe one that didn't have.
See, I save everything.
It looks like you do. See right there, that's probably exactly what I need.
Yep.
That was a little chewed up. Let's see if we can find a better one.
There's another
that one might be perfect. Yeah, that one looks really good. I like that one. So I'll take that one.
Now this looks like it might be the plug for the firewall.
I brought them too, yeah. These are the 2 that came out of the firewall.
Yeah, I think this is for one of them.
Mm-hmm, that looks like it would fit.
And the other one, the big one.
Let's take this one too. Is it the same as the body plug?
It looks like it might be the body plug.
It really does look like it would be the same. Yeah, okay. Shoot, I'll try it at least. Okay, so 3 plugs and a map. I'll give you...
How about 20?
$20.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll put that back.
Now those are 3. Okay. Like I said, I generally save everything.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I used to be big in the Nissan 240SX, and I kept everything in the world for that car. But now I'm into these Geos.
Well, it's a neat little car, and shucks, I keep getting let me show you one that I drive.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I'd definitely like to check that out. Got 3 more.
This is my hot rod Geo.
Oh, you turned into a truck.
Well,
Yeah.
The truck was secondary. What I was doing was taking off as much weight as I possibly could.
I heard that.
Removing the weight. This was a 3-cylinder automatic. I've done nothing back here. But I couldn't take much else off without compromising the integrity of the unibody.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I've added back is a metal cross brace to keep this body from cracking. It was cracking right around here when I first put it on the road.
No, I got
On
you.
both sides because the body was flexing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to weld this up on both sides and make a cross brace to brace this thing up. It's real lightweight. But the thing is, to make it the hot rod,
Okay.
is I put the 100 horse 5-speed. So that's the Suzuki Swift GT motor. That's the twin cam, 4 valves per cylinder. That's 100 horse with a 5-speed transmission.
Wow.
It's got an aluminum radiator, no fan. It is a ball of fire.
Imagine it is. Good God.
Take the power of your Metro times 2,
Times 2, yeah.
and then take the
bunch of
vehicle
weight
and
out.
take off about 500 pounds off the vehicle. So it needs the big wide tires
Oh, yeah.
just to keep the thing
Yeah, keep
under
some traction.
control. Yep. So that's my hot rod.
Yeah,
This
I love
I
this.
drive it on the street,
Oh, wow.
and it's
amazing.
illegal.
Yeah. I'd
That's
love.
my hot rod.
Have you ever taken it to the drag strip?
No,
I'd love to see what it does in a quarter mile.
I've never bothered.
Yeah,
But I thoroughly enjoy driving it.
because I bet you it would be pretty impressive.
And obviously, see, I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm more function over form.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
And
Yeah.
of course, this was my attempt at a real pickup. This is a 4-door Metro. And once again, I didn't want
got
to
some
bother
room.
compromising the unibody, but I did make these panels here where these will tip up. And you can load heavy things from the side
Oh.
on both sides. These will tip up. See, this was a 4-door,
Yeah.
a little longer wheelbase.
Okay.
And
That's
so that's
cool.
my pickup truck. My Metro pickup truck.
Yeah. That's amazing. So how many do you think you have total? I know I've counted probably maybe getting close to 10.
Yeah, something like that. I got 2 more Suzuki Swifts in a building right over here. One of them's a GT, and then plus the Metro.
You know, I've been thinking about getting my hands on the Suzuki Swift GT seats. I don't know, do you just have some?
The GT seats?
Yeah, because people say they're pretty sweet. I don't know if you had some that you were maybe going to get rid of.
Well, I don't have any that I necessarily want to get rid of, but I do have some. They do have a lot of side support.
Yeah, a little more comfortable.
Yes, they are. They're just different.
It'll look nice because the seat I got in mine is a little tore up, so I figured if I'm gonna buy a new one, might as well buy the best one. Oh yeah, they're up there. Oh my goodness.
Those are GT seats right there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you want to get rid of them, I don't think I'd take them today, but I'd definitely like to come get them maybe when I get a little extra cash. They usually go for I think a couple hundred. I don't know what you think on it, but I see them on.
As long as they're not too tore up, that's about right.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they are pretty damn rare.
Yeah. So.
And once again, I parted out a car, so I just saved the seats.
Yeah, I'd love to grab them. Yeah.
But anyway, that's.
I'm gonna hit you back on that and see what
Sure.
you're feeling like when I got a little money to spend.
Sure. I mean, as far as a Metro, I would just put a seat cover on it and just drive it. I honestly don't care. I just put covers on it and just drive it. Make sure it's mechanically sound and drive the thing.
Well, another thing, I'm a pretty big guy, and when I sit in that damn seat, I feel like a giant. I mean, the headrest is on my back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of feel like that might be a little better for my size. But I'm not sure. Do you think it's like a little more accommodating for a big guy like me?
Well, I honestly don't know. I don't
like to give it
know
a
that
shot.
it's a whole lot different, but
Yeah. And I bet you, it looks like they weigh a little bit more probably.
there's a little bit more material in them, although they go in the same way, the same seat,
They
same
bolt
seat
right on
tracks.
in. Yeah, that's what I hear. I just like the way they look, and I'm a kind of a race car guy. Like I've always been into souping up cars, so I like the look of them. It looks like something cool to me.
So you were into you said the SX?
The 240 SX, I was way into those for a long time.
Now, was that a sedan version of the Z car? Or?
No, it was a 2-door, rear-wheel drive. Real lightweight. And it had 50-50 weight distribution. So a lot of the guys really liked getting crazy on a racetrack with them because they were real stable. You could get them real wild and loose, but they just could handle it, and they were real predictable. So you could get real crazy with them, have a lot of fun. And it came with a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder and a 5-speed, but it was real popular to get a 2 liter with a turbo from Japan that had about 205 horsepower stock, but you crank the boost up on the turbos and you can get 250 without really putting any money into it.
Was that also a 4-cylinder?
Yeah, it was a 4-cylinder, 2 liter, all aluminum block.
Mm-hmm. Just like the Metros.
And they come with like 7 PSI stock on the turbo. You could crank that up 12, 14, and then you're getting pretty close to 250 horsepower.
Wow.
And then they were reasonable. I mean, the engines weren't super cheap. A lot of times it might be $1,500 to get one from Japan.
Plus another couple hundred to be shipped, right? Or
usually that you would just go and it would already be here. There'd be a company that brought it here, and then they're saying $1,500, it's yours.
Okay.
So that's already got everything included.
I guess that's what they call the Japanese domestic market, or JDM.
JDM, you got it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I bought one transmission from JDM.
Oh yeah, they had Japan Direct over in Raleigh, way out towards Durham. Yeah, they used to they would get the souped up high horsepower ones, but a lot of times they would just get the everyday commuter cars just so that you can get one, because in Japan they're really kind of finicky. They have a lot of laws.
Yep.
So the cars get scrapped pretty quickly.
That's what I understand.
So you can get some good parts from Japan pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm. That's what I understand.
Yeah.
From reading, that's the same thing for the Metro in Swift parts. Is that due to emissions or environmental laws? After about 4 or 5 years, it wasn't economical for a person to continue.
It has a lot to do with safety.
All right, well, maybe it was safety.
Because if say that when they do an inspection in Japan, they go over with a fine-tooth comb, and if they find a ball joint, one of the boots cracked, they're like, okay, you got to get that fixed, and okay, this is a little rusty, you need to fix that, and that looks like that might be broken. Every tiny little detail, wow. they would say that you had to have it fixed, and then you're like, what, honestly, just get rid of it and get another one.
Okay.
So.
All right.
That's the way I understand it. What's good
for us?
Well,
good for us then.
Yeah, good for us.
I mean, you get the used parts.
Yeah, good used parts. All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna get in touch with you about them seats. And now that I know you're here, I got another friend who's got a Metro, and he's excited to know that you're around because he's getting his, fixed up. Yeah,
tell him that anything with the motor or transmission, there's no use in scrapping anything, because all of that can be fixed. I mean, all of that. I mean, there's plenty of aftermarket parts to fix the transmissions and motors.
Yeah, we just did compression test on his, and he's sitting like 180 in all 3 cylinders, so he's good right now.
He's fine. It's just that whenever it begins to use enough oil, it will eventually burn an exhaust valve. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Oh, okay.
If it uses enough oil, because that oil turns to carbon. The carbon gets trapped under the exhaust valves, and the exhaust valve can't get rid of its heat through the seat, which is where most of it is dissipated, and it will overheat. Eventually, it'll happen. It just depends on the miles. But it'll go a long time.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll go a long time. And of course, the transmission, the synchros can be changed. Those usually wear.
I think mine's going to need something soon, because I can't go just straight into second. I got to kind of go to first, then second.
That's just a synchro thing.
Yeah.
That's a synchro thing.
I'm thinking about it.
Those kits on eBay for bearings, synchros, and seals are like $70 to $100 for the parts. And you put those parts in the transmission, and you got a brand new transmission.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, of course, you're not changing the needle bearings that are in there, because those usually last the life of the transmission. I've never seen one go bad. And the gears, of course, you don't change those unless you have to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've seen bad the hubs that carry the synchronizers will wear, especially on 5th gear. Sometimes those will go bad, and you've got to change the hubs because it'll jump out of gear. If it won't stay in fifth gear, and it's usually always fifth gear. If it won't stay in fifth gear, you usually have to change the hub. I mean, those are 115, 120 bucks, and synchronizers are not. Anyway, all that can be. And Suzuki still, even though they don't sell cars anymore in the States, Suzuki car parts can still be ordered for a lot of the older Metro stuff and Suzuki stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the Suzuki stuff fits the Metros.
Yeah. I know that to be true.
Except the engine stuff. I mean, most of the engine stuff you got to get aftermarket because Suzuki didn't sell a 3-cylinder in the U.S. All theirs were 4.
Yeah, the 1.3.
Yeah, the Suzuki only sold in the U.S. the 1.3, both the 8-valve and the 16-valve.
Oh, gotcha.
But transmission parts, especially, I've gotten a lot of those from the Suzuki car parts and use them in the Metros because gears and the stuff are all the same.
Yeah.
Seals. Synchronizers are all the same for Suzuki and Geo.
Yeah. Well,
So just tell your friend that everything can be fixed.
Oh yeah.
The only reason to get rid of a Metro is if it's got terminal rust. Around the lower control arms. People claim you can fix that, and maybe some people have patched them up, but usually if it gets bad enough, you got to trash the body.
Yeah.
But as long as he's got good lower control arms, he can replace everything.
Yeah. We're both doing pretty good on our rust. We don't got a whole lot. I guess, Southern cars do okay.
Yep, they do fine.
Yeah.
And lower control arms, don't buy Chinese lower control arms. At least get the ones made in Taiwan. The Federal Mogul are made in Taiwan, and those are good. Those are good.
Okay.
But the Chinese arms, if you can get a pair of them for 50, 60 bucks, those are made in China, and those are not going to work. They just don't last.
Yeah.
I've had issues with them. I specifically buy either Federal Mogul or Moog.
Yeah, Moog is supposed to be really good.
Suspension stuff, and you'll pay 70, 80 bucks per arm.
Yeah.
And they'll last. I mean, they'll last. So eventually he'll have to change those.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, the same thing for the inner tie rods. I use Moog for those. You can once again get them from China, but you'd be better off getting the ones from Moog. Off of eBay.
Moog is the good stuff. I know that to be true. I think NASCAR, a lot of even the suspension parts they use are made by Moog. So they don't play. Cool. Well, I'm going to be in touch. I know it's been a pleasure hanging out with you.
Sure.
I appreciate you.
Glad you came by.
I appreciate you giving me a good deal on my parts here.
Sure.
And I'll definitely be in touch, especially about them seats.
Where'd you park?
I parked way down there. I saw the Metros, and then I said, "Oh, okay, this must be it." And then I knocked on the door, and I guess your wife, she said, "No, you got to go way on down," which is fine.
Okay.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you, now.
Yes, sir. See ya. Trees. That might be dead, but pretty nonetheless.